Imagine if the very banks meant to protect your savings were actually fueling the next economic disaster on purpose.
Wait, are you saying the 2008 crisis wasn't just a mistake? That it was deliberate?
That's exactly what new research suggests. Welcome to our deep dive into how the 2008 financial crisis really started.
Most people think banks just bundled bad loans and passed the risk to others. But the truth is, they actively hunted for risky mortgages to boost profits.
Exactly. These financial giants weren't just lending, they controlled every stage of the mortgage process: lending, underwriting, servicing, and even investing in the same risky securities they created.
So they were making money at every step and holding on to the risk themselves.
By 2006, over half of the biggest financial firms were deep in the non conventional mortgage market, bundling lower quality loans just to keep the fee machine running.
And when the housing market crashed, these banks were left holding billions in toxic assets. That's why so many went bankrupt.
It was a classic case of profits now, consequences later, and the consequences were massive.
But it wasn't just risky loans. Predatory lending and outright fraud were rampant. Banks misled borrowers with confusing terms and hid critical details.
They even issued so called ninja loans: no income, no job, no assets, and then they misrepresented these loans to investors.
No wonder over half the top 60 firms paid nearly $80 billion in penalties for fraud and predatory lending. So where was the Federal Reserve in all this? Shouldn't they have seen it coming?
You'd think so. But the Fed's decision makers were blinded by their own economic assumptions. They saw the housing bubble as a separate issue, not realizing how deeply it was tied to the entire financial system.
That's a dangerous kind of groupthink, especially when the stakes are so high.
Here's the real kicker: many of these risky practices are making a comeback today.
So what can we do? Experts say we need diverse perspectives in regulation, better incentives for responsible banking, and vigilant oversight to spot fraud before it spreads.
If you want to dive deeper, download the full policy brief and join the movement to protect our economy from the next crisis.